I'm Josh.
And I'm Hayley.
I'm Eli. I'm Maya. Nani.
And this is Bert. And we are wading towards happiness. So we finally made it to the lock. We did bump the wall. We didn't get it on video, but we did bump the wall. Bit of a panic moment, but hey, we got there. And the taxi works off. Eddie's just opening up the lock now. Eddie's got the lock open now, so we're just going to make our way through, or try to anyway. It is like, it's not windy, but it's the gusts of wind today. Like the wind speed is like, feels about 20 kilometers an hour, but the gusts feel about 45. And they are so strong. They're literally just yanking the boat to the left or the right. So wherever you're looking to line up, you've really got to like, take your time, feel the wind, and then try and account for where it's going to throw you. It's not easy. It's not easy today. Where's the sill? Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. Nah. This is another very tight lock. Yeah, shut. So you have to edge forward in the lock, and then you have to shut the gates behind you and then move back. Quick shot of Hayley closing up the gate. So if I've angled that right, you should see Hayley close that lock gate in a second. I've just got to make sure it doesn't hit the back of the boat. What a day to decide to travel, man. But when you want to move, you want to move. Look at the strength. Look at the strength. Alright, he's locked in. We're locked in. This is a weird camera angle as well. Yeah. There's a shop over there. I want to stop in a second if we can. It's always as soon as we get moving that the kids decide to fight and argue and moan and shout and scream, and it is 10 times harder to navigate and do things safely when you've got 3 kids who are all fighting. They say have more than one child because they'll play with each other, and that's a lie. They'll fight. They will play with each other, but they'll fight. Maybe if you have 2, but if you have 3, that third one, oh man, that's where the trouble comes. We made it through the lock. It's super busy in the wharf and there's nowhere to moor. That looks like a nice pub.
Yeah, that one as well. Beer and pizza.
Yeah.
Just trying to come out. Well, you nearly killed the area.
There's no rings there. You can probably let him out here for a minute. Yeah. This is where you don't want to start bashing around. Yeah, it's just on the right. Hopefully.
For a second.
Yeah. Put him back in, yeah.
Sorry, mate, I didn't realise we were so close to the next bit. Just for a minute. I know, just for a minute. Just for a minute. Hey. Betty. He's like, oh, dude. Just for a minute. Good boy. Looks a bit short.
If I can get the back in. Tie the back and maybe loop the centre in. Right, be quick. You have to go round, I think. Quick. Yeah.
Coming into Granary Warf, we caught some fishing wire around our propeller. The fishing wire was wrapped around some metal and some other stuff. But when I removed the engine cover and I looked in the weed hatch, I felt around and I didn't feel anything at this point, so I just assumed that something had knocked the propeller and went back down.
So yeah, we had a mad one a minute ago. Something bumped the prop and then that bumped the weed hatch and knocked it slightly and let a load of water in. And we had to try and hit the lock landing, but the lock landing was a little too short for us. Haley's just over there doing the sluices. We're going up now. It is ultra busy here. Huh? Like inches?
Yeah, like that much, literally over the blade.
I know. Because they've what?
They've locked up the ground panels as well.
Right.
So maybe it's emptying too quickly, draining the pounds.
Yeah.
Because it literally, them panels not only lift like that much.
Yeah, yeah. So we're officially on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. All we've got to do is get up this slow lock. You can see there the distances, the water's got to go up, and it is just, we've opened everything up as max we can, and it's just so slow.
That's going to be like half an hour.
At least.
You better go and get this now.
Feels like we've been in this lock for an absolute eternity, and it's because these don't seem to go up as far as they should. That's as far as they go up. on both sides. So the water's just trickling in. And this is meaning it's taking an eternity to get the water level up to where it needs to be.
So, still being relatively new to the waterways, and especially new to this waterway, we were completely unaware at this point that we needed an anti-vandal key. We assumed that the CRT had forgotten to unlock this section, considering there was a stoppage in the wharf not long before and had only just recently opened up. It was a rookie mistake, but we all make them.
So another boater gave us the key, and this key basically locks up the sluices. We call them handcuffs keys. So we were able to get through in the end without CRT's help. Bringing you home, right? So that must be the license.
Here. What's the key?
It's down there.
I'll do it separately.
It's done it again.
What, flooded?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't know earlier is that what I pulled from the prop this time was actually what we caught in Granary Warf and caused the bang then. After about 5 minutes of some choice words, very cold hands and arms, I pulled the catch from the prop so we could carry on moving again. Most weed hatches have some kind of locking mechanism, but ours didn't come with one and doesn't have one. It isn't just a lid though, it's a steel base that sits around 1 foot down from the actual lid that you place into the weed hatch. I think this may be a poor design decision from Collingwood because I'm pretty sure that older models did have some kind of locking mechanism. And we've seen multiple times now that caught objects spinning with the prop can and will bang the hatch open and let water into the engine bay. It's not too much of a problem on a canal, but on a tidal river, this could be much more of an issue.
That's what come out. So that is hitting the bottom of the weed hatch at high speed, and then the weed hatch is lifting slightly, which is then enough to tilt water, to move it slightly over to the side, which then means there's a gap for water to fit through.
So that's it, yeah? We're good.
We should be good now, yeah.
That's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
So really, we need to get like a water sensor fitted down there.
Huh?
Or would that only happen when you're moving?
What?
Would that only happen when you're moving? As in really
Yeah, that's only when you're moving. Yeah,
Right,
otherwise
cool.
you wouldn't be able to open it now. That was all wrapped around. Obviously, when the prop spins at high speed, that hits, and although that's only light, when that hits at high speed, that literally is enough to shunt it up. Just had a bit of a scary one. All of that stuff was wrapped around the prop, and it was causing enough force when the prop was spinning to punt the back of the weed hatch, lift it up, shunt it over a little bit to the right or left, and then let water on. So the engine bay is now full of water. And today just goes from like bad to worse to even worse. So the weed hatch issue earlier, where the weed hatch popped open, what I found was a bunch of fishing wire with metal shards and some other stuff that was like wrapped around it, and it was like spinning with the prop, and it was dinging the bottom of the weed hatch, knocking it up, and then letting water in. And when I opened the weed hatch the first time, I didn't spot it because it was like wrapped around, but then the bit that the metal shards were on were just loose towards the bottom of the boat, so they were just dangling down. Therefore, I physically couldn't spot them. But yeah, I spotted it on the second time it banged it open. I found it because I put my hand right in. And then a minute ago, we got through the second lock after the one we got stuck in, and the boat just lost power, and it felt like the gearbox was going all funny, and I thought, shit, the gearbox is gone. It did not sound good, it didn't sound healthy. We pulled it over, pulled it to a stop. There was nowhere to moor up, so Hayley kind of had to hold the ropes to keep it steady. And then, yeah, I opened the weed hatch, put my arm in, and lo and behold, there's a whole like XL t-shirt just soaked in water, must have weighed about 8 kg, wrapped around the prop. And it's just, cities are just full of shit and rubbish. Mental. I'll try and get through this staircase lock now, and then we should be able to moor up the other side, but time is not with us. We've got literally maybe about 30 or 40 minutes worth of light left. So this staircase lock is Hayley's first ever staircase, and she was a little bit nervous about doing it, let alone having to do it in almost darkness. We're getting there. We've got to try and get up these 2 locks within the next 20-30 minutes, or we're going to be doing this in the dark, which won't be fun. Hayley's ended up basically creating a waterfall. So the waterfall situation is now over, and Hayley has emptied the bottom lock and is now filling the top lock. Then she's going to let me into the bottom lock, and then we've got to close it behind me, fill that lock up, and then go through into the second lock. Oh man, this is just yeah, this is not the one. And as you can see, we're literally about to lose light, so we're going to end up having to do most of the last lock in the dark, I think. It's almost lost light completely now. The lock is very dark, and our mooring spot is just behind the locks, because there's 2 of them. Right, we're just about to go in now. It's going to be interesting. Right, it's about to start getting quite dark. I'll show you the view in a minute. Don't attempt staircase locks at night time, or nearing night time. Yeah. Huh? No. What? Okay. No. Right. Because the whole front is going to be getting splashed in. Huh? Yeah. 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 We're going to have to put all the tamper locks back on.
Yeah. Check everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it. Right, Hayley, can you just come along here and see if there's more rings? So we're abandoning this tonight because it's just too much. We're both tired from today and all of today's fun escapades. Right, I'm going to bring the bow in, and then you say there's one here as well? Okay. Yeah. Huh? Just give me a hand. And then once we're tied up, I'll shut the engine off and I'll come help you. Yeah. Gave up on that one for today. It's yeah, it's too dark. And when you ain't done a staircase lock before, it's not an easy thing to get into and to just grasp. So Hayley's just gonna lock up everything now with the anti-vandal locks, and then we're gonna bed down for the night, do it in the morning. How do you feel after our wonderful attempt?
Horrible. Now my brain's not working. How do I do that? That woman said if it's not too early, she'll come help us. I was like, please. I feel really distressed. Oh. I'm probably doing it wrong, Josh. Just take it out and try again.
So it's the morning after, and we're now attempting the lock. And this is what we were dealing with last night. So, as you can imagine, we didn't really want to attempt that in the dark. This lock feels like a high risk of flooding, so it's you got to just be precautious.
But surely it's not safe when the paddle wants to work.
It's not as bad as it looks. So we've made some good progress. It's lock one of Oddy lock is almost done now. It's not got that far to go. And then when we're level with the other lock, we can open up, go inside. And I think there's a final half a foot or a foot to go up. This is mad tense, man. So I'm just off the boat now, and look, that's where the water line is. The boat is literally almost level with the pavement now in the lock, and it's flowing out, creating the waterfall that we saw yesterday. So I'm just waiting on Hayley to open up now. So with someone's help, we've managed to finally get the lock gate open. It's equalised and we can now start to go through. Both the lock gates are open now, and now we can proceed. What a nightmare. Thank God for people that know these locks, or we'd be in trouble. Thank God. Thanks for your help.
Oh, I know, we'd still be like panicking.
I think we'd be at the bickering phase. So we are just in the Lock 2 now, going up. And then we're going to find somewhere to moor. So that is where we've just come up from. And you can see it's a lot more challenging than just a single lock on its own. Especially when you're dealing with locks that are leaky, so you have to operate them in a very specific way. Otherwise, you just won't get up or down. So we're now moored up and we're going to stay here for a little bit. We got our first ever Buy Me a Coffee from Jennifer Proudler, who we met on our travels. Thank you, Jennifer. We really appreciate the support. If you want to support our journey, you can buy us a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/wading towards happiness. And thanks to Dee for helping us with Oddy locks. We would have been completely lost without your help. And you also gave us somewhere to moor for the night, and we really appreciate that as well. And thanks to you all for tuning in for another episode. Being on the move again means we're going to try and put out a bit more varied content, and we're hoping to put out a boat tour within the next month or so look out for that. But as usual, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.